Okay, crap. I don't have, I didn't print off notes. I'm just going to be working off my screen. Okay. Hello and welcome back. This is Don't Watch at Night, a spooky little podcast dedicated to Latin American and Spanish language horror. I'm your host, Valerie.
And I'm Veronica.
And Ron, how are you doing? You just, it's
I
like
just
middle
got
of the
home,
week.
maybe 45 minutes ago.
Yeah. Yeah.
At home visits, one of them down in Lytle, Texas. So by the time I got to the hospital, it was 4, which is when I was supposed to be off. So then I had to stay late to get my documentation done. And then, of course, I'm in the thick of
Where is
5 o'clock
Lytle?
traffic.
Lytle?
It's like south of San Antonio.
Never even heard of it. No. There's so many places.
No traffic, it should only be like a 30-minute drive, but
yeah. There's like so many little places in Texas that I've just, if you were to be like, that's in Texas, I'd have no freaking idea. Well, that's good. Are your kids off school? No, right?
Mm-mm.
No. I don't know what it is about our school district, but they clustered Thursday and Friday they have off. They also have Monday off. So that comes out to, plus the weekend, that's like 5 days off from school. It's
For
like,
what?
I don't know. I think across this break, somewhere in there is President's Day, but I don't know
Monday's
yeah.
President's Day.
I don't know why we're getting Thursday and Friday off. I don't know how that, but it's like it's a huge break. I'm like, damn, we should have like gone on vacation or something. But you got spring break happening next month, so anyway, that's been me. I don't have anything fun to report. We are on the other side now of Super Bowl Sunday, so we did enjoy that show. And we also watched Green Day perform. They opened the show because my middle son he's in his rock star era. So he's very familiar with a lot of rock. His rock music education has gone up considerably, Ron. I'm very impressed with him. He knows Black Sabbath. He knows, he'll listen to driving him home from practice. That's where he's at tonight. But driving him home from practice, he'll listen to classic rock stations. So I told him, I'm like, well, that's great. But I also want to introduce you to like jazz and blues. And there's a lot of guitar there. And it's important for you to have that as part of your education. So he just graduated. So he went from, there's Rock 101, which was like where he started. Now he's in performance rock. And I don't really know what that means. I don't know if it's going to teach them how to be better showmen up there on the stage, how to
be more, I don't know, complex songs. I don't know.
Yeah.
That's cool though.
It's cool. So with this graduation, the music catalog is bigger. So they have access to more songs that they can potentially cover. So that's exciting. Yeah. Well, cool. Anyway, okay. We can get to it because it's the middle of the week and Veronica just got home from work. She hasn't even had dinner yet. I, on the other hand, just finished dinner and I'm wearing my fat pants so that I can be nice and cozy. Okay. So this week we watched 2018's supernatural horror film, Down a Dark Hall. This is directed by Rodrigo Cortés. And it's just really important to note because this is based on a 1974 young adult novel of the same name by Lois Duncan, who also wrote I Know What You Did Last Summer and another book called...
That was a book. I Know What You Did Last Summer. Huh.
I Know What You Did Last Summer, which I want to came out in the 70s, I want to say. And then Summer of Fear.
I Know What You... Oh, the book. I thought you meant the movie. I was like, no.
No, the book came out in the 70s.
Okay. Yeah.
And this book also came out in the 70s. I think I said 74. It's either 1974 or 1976. I can't remember. But then there's another book that she wrote called Summer of Fear. All of these are movies. Summer of Fear was a Wes Craven film, I believe. But all of these got made into movies. So I say that because it's directed by Rodrigo Cortés. We are, like we said in one of our previous episodes, guys, Ronnie and I are starting to sort of open our nets a little bit wider so that we're looking at films that, in this case, Rodrigo Cortés, Spanish filmmaker. This is a film that was distributed by US and Spain. So you could count it as like a Spain film as well. So, but it's obviously based off of a book that's not by a Latino author. So just something to know. Does this get in there? Barely, but we're doing it anyway.
Is supporting the work of a Latinx director.
Totally. Yeah. Yeah. And hopefully he does more stuff. But anyway, so let's go through the cast list a little bit. Stars AnnaSophia Robb, who I really only know from that Bridge to Terabithia movie. That's that little girl.
I know her from that, and then she was in this. It only lasted one season, which is bad because I liked it. On it was a PBS masterpiece. What was it called? Mercy Street. Like it was set during the Civil War
Oh, cool.
era.
Oh, cool.
So she was in that.
Interesting.
Those are
Okay.
the two things I know her from.
Okay. So AnnaSophia Robb, Isabelle Fuhrman, Victoria Moroles. It's not Morales, it's Moroles. Taylor Russell, Rosie Day, Uma Thurman, Noah Silver, Rebecca Front, Pip Torrens, who plays a math professor. I just think it's cute that his name is Pip. And Jodie May, who's the literature woman.
She looks like almost exactly the same as she did in the Last of the Mohicans.
Yeah. She wasn't billed in like the Wikipedia entry for this movie, but I was like, hey, I know Jodie. We're not leaving Jodie May off this list. Yeah, she looks. She looks great.
The minute she was on there, I was like, hey, that looks like. But I was thinking it can't be her because surely she would look older.
Yeah, no, she looks great.
She looks pretty much the same.
Okay, so and it is available on Amazon Prime. So just to read you guys a little bit of a little blurb on it. Kit Gordy, a difficult young girl, is sent to the mysterious Blackwood boarding school after her delinquent behavior becomes too much for her school and her mother to handle. When she arrives at Blackwood, Kit meets eccentric headmistress Madame, is it Duray?
Duray, that's how they said it in the movie, Duray.
Yeah. And the school's only other students, 4 teenage girls with similar behavioral problems: Veronica, Ashley, Sierra, and Izzy. The girls attend a variety of creative and intellectual classes, which begin to draw out unknown genius in them. So, this was a good standard hour and a half ish movie, and came out in 2018, so it is older. Veronica, first initial thoughts on this one? You watched it last night?
Yeah, late.
Yeah.
But I did stay awake for it. I liked it. I thought the opening shot was pretty cool. And I mean, overall, I liked it. I did think the end maybe got a little overwrought.
Okay.
Yeah. Maybe, a little overwrought. Overall, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I feel
I did not, even though I knew Uma Thurman was in this movie, like when she first appeared, like I almost didn't register. Like, I actually think she looks a lot better with the dark hair.
Yeah,
than her normal blonde.
She has an accent in this film. She's like, what? She's supposed to be French?
French, yeah.
Okay. It was really throwing me because I was just like, that's Uma Thurman, but and it's like, I couldn't quite place the accent, and sometimes it felt very heavy and other times it felt very light. I'm just like, this is throwing me a little bit. When you say overwrought, I'm wondering, because I felt like this movie, it took a while to build. And so then like things start snowballing at the end, and it just sort of seems to come, wrap up fairly quickly. So did you get that? Was that your feeling of it, or?
Yeah. And then, and just the execution. 'Cause like, as people start saying weird things like, the men in my head, and I'm like, but nobody ever asks, well, what do you mean? Like, what is that? What do you mean the men in your head or the voices in your head? Like, I see things, and nobody.
Well, see, I have some questions that I'm going to bring up later related to that, because I'm like
the obvious follow-up question, like, "What the hell are you talking about? Explain that, please." Like, nobody ever says that.
Right. So, my initial thoughts were, it. The other thing to know, obviously, you pick it up right away. This is it's very much a movie for the youths, and I am an old. So, but even that aside, like, I thought it was fun. I enjoyed it. I think, like, I've never seen the adaptation of Summer of Fear, but we've all seen I Know What You Did Last Summer, and that's a fun adaptation. This one is, like I said, feels a little bit more of a slower burn. It gothic horror. It does kind of build slowly.
Yeah, gothic ghost story type thing.
Somebody in one of the reviews we linked kind of likened it to like some of the older Harry Potters that tend to turn a little bit darker. I don't know. I'm not as versed in the world of Harry Potter. That was just I kind of just conveniently slipped right by that what's the word, phenomenon. So I've never read the Harry Potter books, and I've seen very few of the movies. But but anyway, let's see.
What were your thoughts? Initial thoughts? Just
I mean, I thought it was fun. Like I said, slow burn. I thought. Hold on. Is it the dog? Oh no, Alex and Isaac are home from. So whatever. I just thought that was like Luna trying to break in. But I enjoyed it a lot towards once things started happening, like at the beginning, like I said, it was like a good 30 minutes into this movie, nothing had really happened yet. So it was just like, what's happening? Where's this going? And because I kind of felt like, because I think it's listed as like fantasy horror in some listings. And so I was like, well, where's the fantasy? Where is that coming? When is it coming? And so then it slowly comes to pass. But I thought, let's see. I had some points. I don't know. I did think it was really interesting. It was a cool idea to have the 4 young women essentially have these prodigal talents unlocked. And so I initially at the beginning, I was thinking, oh, that's really cool. I'm really happy for them. They're all so beautifully they're beautiful artists. Look at that. But then I thought it was so it was a little bit of a bummer to me that it turns out they're not talented at all. They're just the vessels.
Yeah. They're just being possessed basically.
Yeah.
By genius artists, musicians, painters, writers who died early. And
so, okay, hold on. I wanted there was a question. See, this is why I'm better when I have paper in front of me, because I can find my
big question, like
thoughts faster.
Well, initially I wrote down, what is the goal of this school? And then, we eventually find out it's Madame Duray wants these girls to be the vessel for these, long deceased genius to pour their gifts back into the world. But I'm like, but if the girls all end up going mad and apparently a good portion of them committing suicide,
right. Yeah.
Like it seems like a very inefficient way to go about it, because then you have to keep constantly bringing in new girls,
and because they uncover those records with all the schools, former records of schools that apparently were under different names, you kind of get the sense that maybe it also necessitated a bit of like global hopping around trying to evade, because if you just stay in one same place, there's a lot of dead girls. But there are a lot of people in the building. Like there's a lot of ghosts in this building. And I'm like, why are there so many ghosts? And, okay, so the premise is that, yes, she's brought them here. They're going to be the vessels for all of these great deceased artists to come back and produce all these great works. But it's like, but what, like for what part, like why? I still wasn't truly clear on the why, and I'm sure the book probably goes into it a lot more in depth, but I was just like, what is the purpose of this? Kit kind of alluded to something that made me think, well, that would be a valid motive, I guess, is like, you're just going to use us to produce all these works. She's going to solve that math, her friend, the mathematician girl, is going to solve that math problem, whatever equation, and he's going to take the credit for it, pointing to the math professor. And it's like, okay, well, that I could kind of see. That would be a reason why. It's like you're going to pawn off all of their genius as your own work.
Yeah, or maybe selling because at first I was like, okay, there's only 5, because it's a humongous school, which was beautiful, by the way. So the setting, I really enjoyed the setting, the darkly lit, big old manor house, kind of out in the middle of nowhere on this beautiful landscape. I kept thinking, well, they must be charging a lot if they can afford to stay running and only have 5 girls. But then if they're selling the work of these artists, then
that's true. Yeah.
Maybe that's how they're also financing, because that would be like, how would anybody afford this place?
Everybody working by candlelight. I'm like, man, it's a walking fire hazard. What else? Okay, so like so this was a fun note. This is in reference to the book. This was a fun note about this story. is that Duncan started writing this novel because an editor suggested it, because at the time Gothic horror for young adults just wasn't as much of a thing. So originally she had the girls channeling all male artists, and it was suggested that she revise it because the publishers were worried about pissing off feminists. So I guess like, and in the movie, one of the poet, right? The poet is being possessed by a woman.
I think that was Ashley. Yeah.
Yeah. Is it? But she's being possessed by a woman, right?
I think. Yeah.
Okay. And see, I had a question, and I'm going to jump around. She's the one who's talking about the voices, right?
Mm-hmm.
That she hears that nobody follows up on.
I know. It's like,
And doesn't she say at one point, because she's talking about a man, and doesn't she say at one point, correct me if I'm wrong, didn't she say he hurts her? He's the one who hurts.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but again, nobody
Emily
asks.
or Ellie. Yeah, we never find out what she's talking about. And I'm like,
because nobody asks.
because that leads me to my other question: who the hell is the bald dead guy? Who is he?
The mean kind of
the mean one
with the scar.
Who's he supposed to be?
No clue.
No
clue.
That's kind of key to the plot. I feel like he features heavily, and I don't know who he is. There were some good jump scares with him. That I wasn't anticipating, because initially I was like, okay, well, this is definitely atmospheric, creepy, and tension building, but I haven't had any. I'm like, I'm not truly scared. And then we had a good jump scare with him. Again, this was another movie I had to watch during the day, and Alex, my spouse, is within earshot, and he's like, "You're being really loud." when you jump scare moments, I was like, "Ow!"
Yeah, like Ashley says, he's the one who hurt her, and nobody asks, well, who's he and who's her and what are you talking about?
Right. We don't find out. I mean, I think in your we probably know the answer to this, but just to say it, what do you suppose? Because there's the 4 girls, and they're all starting to show different aptitude in different subjects. So Kit, it's music, it's she becomes this amazing pianist, and then Sierra's the one who is the artist, the painter.
I don't know. I just know. Well, I guess just by process of elimination, because Ashley's the writer, Izzy's the mathematical.
That's right. Okay.
Genius person.
Okay, and then there's Veronica, right? Her name's Veronica. Yeah, Veronica. And so I wanted to ask, why do you suppose Veronica was able to withstand being like taken over, essentially? At least initially. She's the only one who doesn't start to display any kind of talents. And initially, it was making me really worried for her, because I was like, oh no, she's not advancing. She's not, they're going to do away with her because she's underperforming, So what do you suppose made her able to withstand, or not withstand, but, well, yeah, I guess withstand?
I think it's just because she was just, what was the word?
More ground, like
she
sure
was
of
just
herself.
hostile enough, and that she just never really let that guard down, I guess. I'm curious though what her talent would have been, like, had she not been so just, I'm not having any of this attitude.
She was the only one who, like, she came in so hostile, and it just, for whatever reason, it was leading me to believe like she's been here before, like she was a returning student or something. And so I'm like, how did you survive long enough to return?
But yeah, it would have been interesting to see what her talent might have been. But
yeah.
So apparently, the way Madame Duray, I don't know how she would find these girls, but I got the impression that the thing they all shared in common was a kind of affinity for seeing things that other people do not see or aren't attuned with.
Yeah.
Not to the level that Madame Duray apparently has access to that other world, but they all had like some kind of
like
seeing
they all
things.
Like they all maybe
are as more receptive than your
to
normal
the spiritual realm or something like that. Yeah, I got that sense too. And they're all, and this could be more related to kind of what happens when you are a routine offender who falls into systems. They're all on medication. They're all taking medication. And so initially when they start developing their talents and they start...
Bella. Podcast.
It's okay. I heard Coda before I heard... Was that Coda? Yeah. Maybe it's the door and I'm thinking it's the dog. But anyway, they're all developing their talents. And so initially I was just like, well, this is cool. You know, you're getting to be an amazing painter. But then Madame Duray is like, just stop taking your medication and just devote yourself to the craft. And I was like, well, that's not great. I'm like, I started to feel like that's not going to go well. Because, and I thought like I was really trying to watch the girls more carefully after that, because I was trying to kind of watch what was happening to their mental state as they were spiraling further and further into, you know, the hysteria of their gifts, quote unquote. So, you know, you see, I'm just going to call her Math Girl. I keep forgetting her name. What Izzy. Is her name? Izzy. Thank you. You keep seeing Izzy like doing stuff like this, you know, like I'm doing finger touching. And I didn't know if that was just like her genius at work, or if that's just like her mental health collapsing under the weight of what she's experiencing. Same thing with like Sierra, who just sort of stops eating, stops leaving her room. That was really sad.
How did she die? Like, I didn't really get
how she got the sense that she just like wasted away. Like she stopped eating and leaving her room and doing anything. That was sad. What happens to Amanda is also sad. You know, Amanda just kind of... Is it Amanda, the poet?
Ashley.
Is it Ashley? Sorry.
I don't know. Who's Amanda?
I don't know. Ashley. It's sad, you know, she kind of just goes mad. And
yes, and here's the thing. Okay, so Kit and the son, Jules, you know...
I want to ask you what you thought of that dynamic too, by the way. Comment on... Okay, we'll come back to it.
We'll come back to it. You know, find her in her room, and I don't know if she'd cut herself but she's clearly mentally not well, and they leave her alone. Like, it only takes one of you to go use the phone. One of you should stay with her. I mean,
she was still like talking to her, essentially to herself and babbling to herself, and they both left her. And so does she launch herself off? Does she get pushed off? I'm assuming she launched herself off, right?
Yeah, I'm assuming that she was already just
tragic.
Did you recognize her? Because she was the one in that first opening shot, the slow-mo fall. Did you recognize her? Once
I saw that scene of her falling, I was like, oh, because I was like, that's got to come into play at some point. That's somebody that's going to come.
I was thinking it was a girl from a past class, that AnnaSophia Robb's character would find out what happened to her.
Well, I was kind of hoping that maybe it was like this is a dream sequence. This is what could happen, but maybe, you know, because that's the other thing. So Kit seems to hallucinate more vividly than anybody else. You know, all of the other girls kind of talk about how they've been more receptive their whole lives to things that, like you said, seeing things that weren't there, maybe being more receptive to spiritual things, but Kit was like full on having hallucinations. And so, again, I don't know if that's...
And I don't know what those meant.
Yeah.
I don't know what most of those meant.
Because it seemed like a lot of the things she was hallucinating were, well, they're not visions. They're not like things that... She's not like predicting the future or anything. I guess I don't know. Other than seeing her father. Her father kind of acts as like the figure that leads her to safety at the end. But yeah, nothing that she sees is actually foreshadowing anything, really. I don't know.
Yeah.
Maybe.
And then were they hallucinations, or was she actually, I don't know, experiencing them? It's hard to say because I don't know what the point of them was.
Yeah.
Because they weren't, you can't even say that they were, what's the word? I'm drawing a blank. Foretelling anything either.
Right. Yeah.
Foreshadowing. That's what I'm trying to say.
And there, like I said, this is one of those things where it's like, Ronnie and I did not read this book. So I have no way of...
I'm curious though now.
I know. I kind of would read the book now. I mean...
see what other... Question for you, Valerie.
What?
why was Miss Orlonsky, or however you say her name, so damn strong?
She's like body
hello?
slamming everybody.
She's like an older woman, like
Older woman.
looks like a, you know, out like a housekeeper, but
like
she's
a
damn
grandma.
strong.
And yeah, and you know, and again, things we don't know, things that aren't covered in this short little blip of a movie, but it's like, what is her situation? We know she obviously has a son who's passed that she's trying to reunite with, but like the other professors there all have buy-in on whatever it is that Madame Dure is trying to do. It's like, how did she find these people? Why? What is the buy-in here?
Yeah, what's their stake in this? That they're willing to sacrifice all these young
multiple girls,
however, you know, messed up or their personal lives might have been before coming to this school. They're still human beings, young girls. Like,
right. Okay, let me see. I had another question. Okay, well, but there are questions that we don't have answers for. I really wanted to know who the angry bald dead guy is, and I thought maybe you had.
No, I don't know who he is.
I had to
know why Miss Orlonsky's so strong.
I started watching this movie on my television, and then I had to switch over to my phone because I couldn't get. It was so dark. This is another one of those films where it's like it's so freaking dark, and I can't see anything, so I had to watch it on my phone.
Like,
so I could
things in the shadows. Am I supposed to be seeing?
Because
something?
you kind of do see. There is like we don't. The reveal doesn't happen till later when we see that this mansion is crawling with ghosts because you see things moving in the shadows and they kind of look like people, and you're like, what the hell? It's because it's filled with people. So I don't know.
What did you think of the scene where Veronica and Kit have, you know, gone up and found all those old files where they find out about what's happened to girls that have been at the school before? And then Miss Orlonsky, or how do you say her name? Orlovsky? Whatever. Miss O, I'm just going to call her Mrs. O, and Miss Dure find them, but Veronica tells Kit to hide. And so Veronica's there to just kind of take the blame because
to take the fall.
She's the tough girl. The scene where Miss Dure, like you see all the ghosts coming up behind Veronica, and Miss Dure says that, you know, basically you're worthless, you're a waste of my time. I'm just going to give you to them.
Yes,
and that was kind of creepy.
And so they haul her away, and we don't know what's happened to her right away. Later on, Kit calls everybody down, and this is where she confronts Madame Dure and the other professors there to just be like, you're just using us and you know, throwing us away essentially. And that's where Madame Dure says, yes, you're just vessels. You know, you think that you came in, you couldn't even play scales, and now you're doing concertos. And she's like, which made me sad. I was like, this sucks. I really wanted her to be super gifted, but you know, she goes and she finds Veronica, who has now been possessed, like fully possessed, and is like in demon form, trapped in a circle. Is she possessed by old bald guy?
Oh, I don't know. I didn't even think of that.
Because at the end, once Kit essentially beats the ghosts out of Veronica, is just like slapping her around and being like,
and that's where the ending started to go a little wonky for me, that you could just like, it would be that easy to break a demonic possession.
Right. And that she wouldn't be like fully trying to attack you herself because she's super strong because she's possessed, and she doesn't try to really do anything to Kit. And so then later on, when we see in that final scene where we see Uma Thurman, Madame Dure, but I'm just going to call her Uma Thurman come down the stairs, and she looks to be possessed now. And I thought that her demise was epic. Even though she's the bad person, she's still Uma Thurman, so I was sad to see her die. Okay, so now we can ask the dynamic of her son, what's his name? Jules and Kit. I did not like, not necessarily because it was a romance element in this story, but I did not. He's her teacher. She's a teenager, a minor.
Well, that whole scene where, I don't know how old he is. How old is she?
She's not much. Yeah, he's not much older than her, but she's.
I mean, they're minors, and I'm sure they're not above.
She's for sure a minor.
But like that whole scene where she's playing the piano and he's like hanging over her. I'm like, that's in front of the other girl. I was like, this is extreme. Whether anyone else is present or not, it's highly inappropriate.
Right,
It's like,
right.
this is highly inappropriate behavior.
So I'm glad that didn't live long, primarily because she finds out that he's in on this, and so she's rightly betrayed. Was not expecting him to die either, though, to be honest. So when that happened, I was like, oh man, I guess he had to die, though. He had to die. Every that's important to note. I'm pretty sure everyone that is
affiliated
attached
with
to the school does die. We don't actually see the literature professor die, but she dies. She doesn't make it out.
Yeah.
So yeah. As the mansion is consumed in flames. Yeah.
So yeah, there were just I wish I would have liked to have seen more bonding and interaction with the girls, and maybe having them all like be on that road to figuring out together, even if not all of them made it.
Yes.
And in the end, it's only Kit and Veronica that make it out alive from the girls. But I just would have liked to have seen more of them, the five of them kind of working through this together and relying on each other more and figuring things out together more. And asking more questions.
And and
like, I thought that was a missed opportunity.
I know that this would have been covered in more detail in the book, but what the movie could have benefited from more is really, really drawing our attention to what's happening when we start to see them displaying their gifts in class. And it's like, we see a little bit of it, they do kind of comment when they see Sierra just like obsessively painting on her easel and not even really looking at the easel. She's looking at, something else. Mm-hmm. So, I mean, we do see moments where it's like, it's clear something's wrong. They are aware that something's wrong, but the movie doesn't spend a whole lot of time on, you could maybe have scenes, sorry, hit the mic. You could maybe have scenes where you've got the girls bonding over trying to figure out what the hell's going on with Sierra, or trying to figure out why they can't wake Ashley up when she's in her writing state. Mm-hmm. So you could have more more character development scenes where the girls are trying to work this out together, like you said, and spending a little bit more time on it, because it's like, if you see your friend who doesn't paint suddenly painting like that, that's intense, that's scary, that's cause for alarm. And like Kit playing the piano, hers seems the most like violent, because it's just like she's playing to the point that she's like sweating and out of breath, and it's like, I was also thinking about her little finger pads. Her little finger pads must hurt. So anyway, let's see. Do you have anything? What else? Those are all my questions that we don't even have answers for. It's like, is there anything we want?
Oh, well, what did you think of the scene where, place is burning down, AnnaSophia, finally limps out, collapses, and they put her in the ambulance, and they're working on her because she's coding, and then her father's sitting there. What did you think of that whole scene with her?
I mean, so
the vision of her father,
the vision of her father, and it's important. I guess we didn't even talk about that, but like in the opening of the film, the opening sequence is her as a little girl walking outside on like Christmas night into the snow to see her father, who's standing there and walking off. So this film does have that element of grief, where the whole movie, she's this young person who lost her father to a terrible accident when she was a little girl and has kind of never really gotten over it. And so she's grappling with, she never got to say goodbye to him. And so that scene in the ambulance with her father as a ghost, and she's, she tells him, she's like, I'm dying, aren't I? And he goes, yes. And she says, well, I want to stay with you. And, it's essentially her getting her chance to have that goodbye with him. And
yeah, but her actual goodbye, it was just like, goodbye. Like,
yeah,
just
like, he looks like he's about to cry, and she's just like, I'm gonna be okay, bye.
Yeah, like, okay, bye, you can go. Like, just goodbye. I was like, okay.
And she's a great actress, so it's like, I know she could emotionally go there, but I guess like she chose not to go there in that scene. So and like, it makes me wonder, because I think Madame Dury does tell her at one point when she's, threatening her, she's like, if you stay here and see this through to the end, you can be closer to your father than ever before. But if you leave here, that access to him will be lost to you forever or something. So it makes me wonder if, like, coming out of this now, is she ever going to see him again? Because she asks even, will I ever see you again? And he doesn't actually answer her. He just says, I've got to go now.
Mm-hmm.
So he doesn't ever say, yes, we'll meet again someday. Or, all in good time, my daughter. He doesn't say that. So, I don't know. Yeah, I'm glad Veronica made it. I'm glad Veronica got out of there the whole time, because they're taking their sweet ass time getting out of the building. I'm like, you have to get out of the building. It's violently on fire. So, yeah. Anything?
Yeah, actually, I won't say happy, but I was relieved when Jules died, because then I was like, okay, this dumb romance isn't going to go anywhere. It's never going to get off the ground.
It can't now.
Because like now all of a sudden, like, I don't know. I just always want to know, like, because you've hardly even spent time with this girl. So like, why all of a sudden are you willing to, go against, like, why did your moral, why did this not ping on your moral conscience before? Like,
right.
What was
with
about
any of those other girls?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I was like, whatever.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it was an interesting movie. Let's see, 2018. What was going on in 2018? I don't know what the other horror movies of the time were in 2018. This feels very.
I don't remember. Do you remember hearing about this movie in 2018?
No,
I've never heard of it.
It honestly feels very, like, even more 90s than
right.
It like 2018 almost feels like that wasn't very long ago. 2018 horror movies. The Nun, Greta, Ghostland. I've heard of Ghostland. Hereditary
Bird
came out.
Box.
Yeah.
May the Devil Take You. I haven't heard of all these movies.
Along Came the Devil.
A Quiet Place, which you haven't seen. Gosh, that was 2018.
Yeah. I mean, the big one that's jumping out at me is Hereditary. Came out around that time. So, yeah, just sort of a weird little. But, there were some of the things we looked at online, guys, that we've linked for you guys, talk about how this is very, like we said, very much a youth-driven movie. Some even called it, like, children's horror. I don't know about that. But, yeah, it does, given, where did we start? What did we start the year with? I don't know if I can't remember what we started with the little Critters movie that we watched, that kind of felt to us like a child's horror movie as well.
Critters movie?
The one we just, Don't Be Afraid of the Dark, that one. Don't Be Afraid of the Dark with the little critters.
Oh, yeah.
And then this one, so it's like we've been watching like some kid horror lately, which I'm here for. It's good. It was easy viewing. And so if you haven't seen it yet, you totally should. At least in our area, within my area, at least it was free to watch on Amazon Prime. So,
did you have ads? When did Amazon Prime start doing ads?
I did. I'm pretty sure I had ads. I think I did.
Now you have to pay. We're already paying for Amazon Prime. Now we have to pay extra to not have ads.
Veronica's like, and here is where I will get on my soapbox and rant about.
Damn.
Yeah, I think I said
I was
everything.
Actually probably most sad to see this beautiful manor burn down.
Yeah.
Man, it went fast. It's like a tinderbox.
Well, yeah.
For as big as it was.
So much oak in there. What was I going to say? I think that this was a really cool, different take on possession, I guess. And around, I mean, Veronica being the one who's very obviously possessed at the end, but the rest of them are experiencing possession. What?
I was talking about me for a minute. I was like, what?
Veronica very obviously possessed. No, but all throughout the movie, they're all essentially experiencing possession just in a different way. And so
I kind of wanted to know what would have happened, when their Kit is playing in that rotunda, and next to that, what was the name of the musician that she's channeling? Kestrel something.
Yeah.
Whatever. He's
Yeah.
there, and then all those other past ghosts, whatever, come, and they're dancing around, and then big bright light shines from the top, and Uma Thurman's character is like, we've never been this close before. We're almost there. I kind of wanted
Like,
to
what's
see
going to happen?
what are we working towards here? Like,
right. And they never say that, do
we
they?
never get there.
We don't know what the end goal is. Also, why is it just mad genius artists and people that are like so interested in possessing people? Why can't it just be someone who, like, you know, bakes bread or something? is a gardener, somebody who, I don't know, shines shoes. Why does it have to be somebody who's like, I'm a mathematician and like, I don't know.
Well, maybe that's what that mean scar do, you know, because I mean, it's not art, but like a prolific serial killer, you could say there's some kind of like twisted genius involved with that. And maybe that's what maybe that was Jack the Ripper. I don't know. Maybe.
Now I want to go read the book, for no other reason, because I'm hoping that maybe they'd explain this person more. Because if he's not in the book, then I don't know why he's in the movie. Obviously, he's somebody. We just glossed over it. So,
well, did you check the credits? See what he's billed as.
No, that's a good idea. You do that. Also worth noting, and I didn't.
What was this called? Down a Dark Hall.
Down a Dark Hall.
Ooh.
The opening. This is one of those movies that opens on a screen with text, and so there is a quote at the beginning of the movie.
I was going to write it down,
which I had to pause and zoom in on because it was so freaking small on my screen, the font. But it's referenced in one of the resources we have linked for you guys. I'm going to see if I can find it real quick while Ronnie is looking up whatever she's looking up, because they did reference the quote. And once you get to the end of the movie, you're like, oh, okay, yeah, that makes total sense. Is it in? There's a RogerEbert.com interview that gave this movie 2 stars. They just really hated this movie, which is, I think that's unfair. I thought it was fun. I thought it was fine.
Yeah.
It doesn't have to be groundbreaking to be entertaining. Where is it?
No, he's just billed as disfigured man.
Like that, come on. I need more than that. Can't he's gotta be somebody. I mean, there aren't that many, so let me just.
Played by an Argentinian actor, anyway. But yeah, he was this disfigured man.
Hold on.
I didn't really recognize anybody else besides Uma Thurman, AnnaSophia Robb, and.
Well, so the girl who plays Izzy, she is also something of a horror movie darling.
Mm-hmm.
She's in that movie. She is the lead person in the movie. I will never remember the name of it. She's in that Orphan, the horror movie Orphan, which came out in 2009. And then there was like Orphan First Kill, and like there's like a bunch of Orphan movies now. But The Orphan is that movie that's kind of somewhat based on a true story. Centers on a couple who I'm sorry. The plot of Orphan centers on a couple who, after the death of their unborn child, adopt a psychopathic 9-year-old girl with a mysterious past. And I seem to think that this is a situation where she's not truly 9. She ends up being like a lot older, and she's portraying a child who is 9. And it's based off of a story, off of an actual story that was in the news. I don't know how to say it, but it's a rare hormonal disorder that stunted her physical growth and caused proportional dwarfism. So anyway, I'm sorry. What were you going to say?
No, the actress that plays Veronica, she was born in Corpus Christi, Texas, grew up in Rockport, Texas.
Oh, that's cool.
We know where that is. She actually is currently on that show, also on Amazon Prime, Ballard, which is kind of an offshoot of that Bosch.
Oh, I found the quote. Okay.
Bosch
so
episode.
At the beginning of the movie, the text on the screen is a quote from Homer, the Odyssey. The quote is, "Sing in me, muse, and through me tell the story."
Oh, that's
which
very
makes
appropriate.
Sense. Very appropriate, yes. Because at the beginning of when I first read that quote, I was like, I don't know what the hell that means. But yeah, makes total sense now. Yeah, I very interesting film, enjoyable, not groundbreaking, but enjoyable.
Yeah.
Left some questions, and it certainly did provoke in us an interest in perhaps reading this book. I will occasionally go and read YA novels if the cover sparks enough of an interest in me. When I'm at the library with my kids, I'm perpetually trying to get them excited about books outside of what they already know, to just sort of take a chance on a new book. And so because I usually only have like seconds to grab something because I have 3 kids going in 3 different directions. I very often have to grab a book solely based off of what I can glean off the front and back cover of it. And so there have been a few young adult novels that have looked interesting enough to me that I'm like,
Yeah.
I'm going to check this out for me. I'm going to poke my head in it and see what it's about.
And then it looks like the actress that played Sierra, the painter, does a lot of voice acting.
Yeah. They're all like, I thought I was reading somewhere, they're all like in their, well, this movie came out in 2018. I forgot. I wonder how old they were back then. Because it was like, they're all like in their mid to late 20s, but this is.
Well, like Ashley, because I just happen to be on her IMDb page at the moment. She was born in 94.
Okay.
So whatever that makes her.
I don't know. Do math. What does that make her?
Well, that's why I'm telling you.
Hold on. Where's my calendar? Or not my calendar, my calculator. 2026 minus 1994. She is 32.
Oh, wow.
But at the time of the movie, she would have been 24. So.
Hey, she looked young. Of course, maybe
I know.
Maybe when I was 24, I looked that young too. I don't know. But interesting.
The other movie that Rodrigo Cortés has done is a movie I didn't see, but I think Alex did. It's called Buried, and it had what's his name? Ryan Reynolds. I was going to say Ron Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds. But I don't know. Yeah, he did Buried. He did a movie called Escape. He did a movie called 15 Days. It looks like that one might be, that's a comedy. But it looks like that one might be Spanish language. I don't know. The Contestant. That's comedy thriller. She does a variety of different films.
Who are you talking about?
The filmmaker, Rodrigo Cortés.
Oh.
So, all right. Well, have you said everything? Has Rodrigo Cortés acted in stuff? Because his face looks familiar. I don't know.
I don't know.
Okay. Was there anything else you wanted to say about any closing thoughts or other questions that I doubt we'll be able to answer?
No. I just never understand why when and this is not the only time I've ever seen it, but when you have like a parent dropping a kid off at a new, like they just drop them off and leave, like don't even make arrangements to like stay overnight.
Yes.
To kind of help them get settled in. No, just drop them off and take off.
Well, and particularly this place, like, yes, it is a beautiful building, but it's dark, it's very secluded, it's out in the middle of nowhere. This is your first tour of the school. You have the tour in which you're dropping her off at for like months is your first tour of the school, and they're just like, okay, bye.
And nobody's there to immediately greet you. Like you're basically opening, hello, anybody here? Like nobody's there to.
And I think that's even where they realize that, oh yeah, the rest of the students aren't even arriving till tomorrow. And she's like, well, then why did you bring me here today? And it's like, I would feel even less uneasy leaving my daughter there by herself with these random people that I don't really know. Haven't even run a bet. Don't even know their credentials.
Yeah.
So
that was the only other thing that I was like, this is weird. Like, I would not do that as a parent, but
yeah. All right. Okay, friends. Well, we can hop into second segment. Ron, I was going to nominate the book that I brought it up on the last episode. You may or may not recall, but it is It is the book called This Thing Between Us by Gus Moreno. I think that would be an interesting read. I think a lot of what I've seen online describes it as just kind of like this movie in terms of like another story that focuses on atmospheric horror, slow burn tension building. But let me read a little bit about it to you and see if I can jog your memory. Okay, This Thing Between Us is a horror novel about a grieving husband, Thiago, who is tormented by supernatural forces after his wife Vera's accidental death. It's a book that blends themes of grief, guilt, technology, and cultural identity with horror elements like demonic possession. This is the one, and I did kind of read this to you where, and it sounds ridiculous, but go with me. I think the supernatural horror element is going to revolve around, he has a smart speaker in his home or cabin or wherever this book takes place that kind of becomes demonic or possessed. I don't know. So I think that's the tech horror that this incorporates, is that it seems to be a smart speaker that's kind of causing some problems here. So I think we should give it a read. I think it'd be interesting. I am looking at a NPR review on it, written by Gabino Iglesias. So I'm hoping that this is going to be a good pick for us. So that would be my choosing. I wanted to tell you how many pages it was, if I can find it. 272 pages. So not too big. Yeah, here's just to give you a little bit more. A surreal excursion into heartache and horror, narrated by a man undone by grief, along with allusions to Rod Serling and The Exorcist. There are shades of H.P. Lovecraft in there. Somebody else likened a little bit of his writing to Stephen Graham Jones. So I think we'll enjoy it. I think we should give it a go.
Okie dokie.
Okay. All right. So that'll be the pick. And we'll post about it on social media. This Thing Between Us by Gus Moreno. Pick up your copy if you have not yet, if you haven't read it. This was a book that came out in, I don't know, it's been a while. It's been out for a few years. So if you've read it already, maybe you want to reread it. If not, get it. And we will do a book club episode. Well, probably I don't know. Hold on. Let me look at a calendar. Because we always want to set that for you guys. Since we're doing this now, 1, 2, probably looking at April, end of April, just because we want to give people time to even realize that we've made a pick and then get the book and then start the reading. So we'll target end of April, friends, for that. And that's it. Is there anything else, Ron?
I did manage to get 2 episodes in of this show on, was it on Amazon Prime too or Netflix? I don't remember. Maybe Netflix. It's called Bodies.
Oh yeah. Alex started watching it.
And it's taking place in 4 different time periods, more or less, I think about 100 years apart. No, it can't be that long. Anyway, lots of years apart, one's Victorian England, one's in the future, one's now, one's even earlier than Victorian England, where detectives in each of the 4 time periods basically come across the same body. And so,
yeah, I didn't get into it because of all that time jumping, but that's really up Alex's alley. So I think he has been checking out episodes of that. We're still trying to work through season 2 of Fallout, which is fun. And what else did I start recently? Oh, I started watching it just because it was on after the Super Bowl. Yeah, it's called The Burbs.
I want to watch it because The Burbs is one of my favorite movies.
Yeah, so it's
one of my favorite fun. Just it's
kind of
dumb.
like a rebooted version of that movie. Yeah, it's been fun.
What streaming service?
Well, so I don't know that I'll be able to watch it
Peacock?
launch. Yeah, it's Peacock, which we don't normally have. We only picked up that app for the purposes of the Olympics. And so I don't know that we're even going to keep it after this. So it's like, I'm getting into this show and I don't know that I'll be able to continue watching it.
I want to check it out because
But it's fun.
That's like one of my favorite movies. I always watch it anytime I come across it on TV.
Yeah, it's fun. I always used to think that it was scary because I remember because I remember seeing it in rental stores when I was little and just being creeped out by the cover of the movie. Because he's standing in the middle of the street in the dark and it just looks scary outside. I don't know. So for whatever reason, I always got it in my head that it was like a horror movie. Is it a horror movie? I've never seen it.
No. It's funny.
But
it's stupid. It's, I don't think when it was actually released, it like was a box office hit or anything, but it's just a fun movie. I just like to watch it.
Yeah. So that's
and it has Princess Leia in it.
Yeah, and Tom Hanks
playing Princess Leia. Yeah,
and Tom Hanks,
Bruce Dern, Corey Feldman. I always get the Corys mixed up. Corey Feldman.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Mm-hmm. He it doesn't give anything away necessarily, but Tom Hanks does sort of feature in the show because as this couple has relocated to this suburban area, she's getting a little bit of a history lesson on like the founding of the community, and she's looking at pictures of the founders, and it does seem to be Tom Hanks's face as like one of the founders. So it was just them doing a little nod to the original, to the source material.
I want to check that out. Yeah.
So yeah, it's fun. All right. Okay. Well, we'll go ahead and stop it there, guys. Get that book if you can, and we will see you again soon. Thanks so much for listening.
Bye. Don't Watch at Night is a Nest production hosted by me, Veronica, and Valerie. Editing by Valerie. Music by Omar Chakor. Production support for this episode provided by Lorenzo Villarreal and Alex Street. Listen to new episodes of Don't Watch at Night every other Monday, and don't forget to give us a rate and review. It's the best way to help us grow.